Good morning, or good afternoon, or evening. I'm Carneros. Welcome to Playable Worlds and our live stream for the finale of Kickstarter. And with me today are Avi and Dave. Although, am I pointing in the right direction? No. Avi and Dave. Okay.
Hello.
Howdy.
One of these days, Thomas, we should put names on our things so people know who we are.
Yeah, it's on the way. It's on the way.
You think of these things as just a little too late. Good to see you guys. Welcome.
Thanks.
All right, and I quickly go and look to see how our Kickstarter's doing, like I do every morning when we get up. 727,173. Ooh, that's not bad. And we've got about 88 minutes to go. And then this closes off. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. But that's looking good. This morning we woke up and we had achieved a stretch goal, which was the stoccati species. And we sent out a dev blog on that. I don't know if you saw it. Thank you very much, by the way, Dave. Or that was that Raph wrote that one, I think. But thank you for the next one, which we're already having to queue up because we're so close to the next goal here. That's the additional shield types. And I've already looked through it and it looks great, by the way, Dave. And it's ready to go out the door when that hits. And then we'll have to get Sean to put up a new goal for us pretty quickly. This is exciting. Oh, geez. People are at shenanigans. We're not doing shenanigans yet. We've been asked by Raph this morning to hold, oh, it was Eric. We've been asked to hold all shenanigans for another hour and 10 minutes or something. Yeah, so we're trying to behave.
We have to ration our shenanigans.
Yes. Well, we still have to get work done. There's a lot of work to do today. It's
Shenanigans.
gonna be a freaking busy day, yes. And thank you for the funny things you guys are saying in chat. Yeah.
Which I'm not seeing. I need to find that.
Yeah, you have to, if you bring it up though, please mute it because you'll hear the echo of the time difference and you don't want to screw yourself up. It's very annoying.
Right.
Yeah, invert mouse lock. Yeah, we mentioned this to Dave about once every 2 weeks and try not to get him angry. But yes, it's on the list.
I used to build flight sims. It's not a problem. I understand what you want. It's on the list. It's going to happen.
Yes, it'll happen. It'll happen. Okay. I forgot about Domark days. Yeah.
It's been a while.
That was a long time ago.
I still own a Sidewinder joystick and throttle.
Okay. All right. Oh, I don't have any of those cool things anymore. I did save the boxes, which is, you're a marketing dude when you saved the box, but not the item that was in it. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, hold the shenanigans. Used to live in a house with a full-up grandfather clock. Yeah, that clock is probably older than Dave. Just kidding. I'm getting into dangerous territory there. How is Raph doing? Much better. However, he's still coughing too much to be allowed onto the stream. So yeah, but his temperature has returned to normal. He's definitely recovering. Unfortunately, he brought it home to his family. That's never ideal. Yeah, his family are sick.
Sharing is caring.
Yes. Maybe not. Yes. You don't get everything in life. No one gets everything. Unfortunately, their constitution stats over there wasn't where they were mostly blessed. But they'll be okay. All right, this is exciting. I have screenshots for you, but it won't let me add them in general. or WoW sections on Discord. Hey mods, where can he? I guess he can only put it in the. Why won't it let him go in the WoW sections? Oh, that screenshot thing. He means the goals, the social goals. Maybe Lemonus or Lyric can help him over there with what to do. Thomas is his hands full at the moment. Thank you, Thomas. We gave him a extra challenging engineering day today, and he's jumping through hoops trying to make it all work. And thank you for that. But let's talk about Kickstarter for a moment, because we're drifting off away from our topic a little bit. Very excited about how this is running. Time is running out, but let me tell you about a couple things that have changed this week, in case you didn't pay any attention on Monday and Tuesday, which is fair. We added a couple new Kickstarter rewards, and we added a few add-ons. Add-ons are more complicated. Kickstarter rewards, you could look at the front page of the Kickstarter campaign, and you can find them in the list. They're a little tricky to find because there's so many rewards in the list. But you can just go to the rewards tab. It'll take a second to load, and you can scroll down and you'll see one that says Forever Traveler Tier Plus. And that's a new one. And there's one called Reacher Plus. The two ones that say plus in, for some reason, all caps are the two new ones we just stuck in there. And then but the add-ons are trickier. Add-ons are meant to be added onto an existing pledge. So you need to have already backed the campaign or signed up to back the campaign. And then if you activate your pledge again, click on it again like you're going to change it, it will give you the option to look at add-ons. And we had 4 new add-ons we added. One was a helmet inspired by crash test dummies, which is an homage to the people who've been testing with us since July, August of last year. Thank you. You guys have gone through a lot. You have helped us huge amounts. You have inspired us. You have impressed the investors. And we added a crash test dummy helmet in the spirit of all the hard work you did. And thank you. It's our inside joke. And thank you. Also, these shirts with the first landing is also an homage to y'all helping. Let me turn around. And these you can order through the website, by the way, and we're supplying them at cost. We're not making any money from this, and those are also an homage to your hard work. Another thing we included was a digital art book. Magnus hasn't made this yet, so he's going to collect it and put it together, but it's an add-on, and we will email you a link to download this digital art book. We're also another add-on is a robot cat. I don't know why you would want one of these in your game, but if you do want one, you can have one if you're a cat person. No, I don't believe you can have the robot dog and the robot cat out at the same time for obvious technical problems.
It does everything that the robot dog does, but it only listens to you half the time or less. And if you're too friendly to it, it will occasionally claw you to death.
I hate that.
I'm kidding.
Yes.
Sorry.
We're half kidding. And then there's also a new emote that you can get as an add-on. I have not seen it in game. It is supposedly a double fist bump, but it's called the friendly emote. We shall see here. Do you know, what is it? Do you know how it looks? Oh, okay. I don't know anything. All right.
Yeah.
It's an emote for young people. Enjoy it. Okay. Okay, what's our status though? How close are we to success? Honestly, we're already at success. Everything you do in the next 90 minutes is gravy and is helpful, but thank you. We've achieved what we needed to. Now, will it still help in the next 78 minutes? Thank you, Yashis. Um, yes, it will, because we are still talking to other investors who are trying to decide how much to throw in the pot or what the terms will be. Eric and Raf are still working their butts off on that. Thank you. But we're already at the point where we have achieved our investor goals, so we can go 24/7 now on the testing. We just have to get our back end ramped up and ready. We can make it to early access and monetization and all and make it to launch. We can do that. How comfortable we can do that and how much extra buffer space is all that's on the line now as we work to it. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get a chance to have a vacation somewhere in between there. Wouldn't that be nice? No, it doesn't happen.
Crazy talk.
Crazy talk. I know. Um, there are legitimate things to talk about as a part of that ramp up. Things like, will we be hiring? We actually need to. We can we I don't know that we could achieve all of our goals right now with just the staff we have. We have to hire a couple specialists and a few people. Um, you know, Dave and David both need help, but we'll figure that out. And customer service, I can't just do that as a side job uh, forever. No, there are a couple things we need to actually do. Um, if you know someone that should be working for Playable Worlds, maybe you do. You guys have connections and stuff. How do you get them to us? I'll tell you. Ask that person to go to playableworlds.com and click on the careers button. Not starsreach.com, playableworlds.com. There's a careers button. Have them click it and then fill out the open application. Even before we have put a job listing up, they can fill out the open application. I did this, by the way. Anyway, then we can get them into our system officially, and Justin can handle any paperwork, etc. So that's a thing you can do even now if you know someone. Already done. Nice. Okay. Uh, what else to tell you about? Uh, I'm doing all the talking, and that's a problem. Dave, Avi, what are your thoughts?
On
Okay.
because I tuned you out like a
What's
half hour
coming?
ago. What?
What's coming? What's coming next on the dev and features side after the current patch we just put out, the current uh, build we just put out? What's coming next?
Yeah, no, that's fair. We've actually got a lot of house cleaning to do. We were moving very fast, and well, I mean, you're playing the game, so you know there's a bunch of stuff in there that it's not really ready for prime time. So we're cleaning some of that up. But in fact, right now we're working on finishing up the stuff that got left behind for the even the most recent push that we did with the proc chain creatures. So there's a bunch of little things that needed to be fixed there. We're doing those. We're tightening up some of the season stuff, some of the performance issues that you're experiencing right now. That's what we're working on right now. And now that we kind of know what our future looks like with the investment in the Kickstarter and things like that, we are putting together a roadmap to match it. So there's a lot of internal work. None of it's super sexy, but it's all going to end up being better for the game.
Thank you. Avi, what
And
are
then
you
there
working
are.
on this week?
This week, I'm working on a bunch of bug fixes about the combat stuff that you guys managed to break. And after that is okay. We keep talking about like, hey, our combat is due for a rework, and we're getting a bunch of client prediction and stuff in. And just to be clear, In game right now, there is one combat tree, and it has all our weapons in it, and they're just really basic options. It's not really like you can't build a gunner profession out of this, or a sniper profession, or a combat engineer, or a melee swords person, or whatever. We are going to get there, but we're doing a bunch of backend upgrades to enable that first. So that's kind of my priority for this week and probably most of this month. There is stuff that we have in our back pocket that we haven't shown that's a little bit more related to seasons and stuff. I really want to leak it right now, but Dave has told me no leaks.
We're
This
Dave, can I
isn't
leak
really
it?
the leak show, honestly.
we we're also working on it's going to be a long-term project, but we're going to replace our UI system so that we can do a lot more in a lot less time, so that we can iterate faster. And again,
God.
that's one of those things. Like you'll be like, well, what have they been doing for the last month or so? But when it shows up, all of a sudden you will notice it because we'll be able to actually do things. Like ridiculous things like the field of view thing in the option screen being a text field instead of a slider. Okay, we'll be able to put a slider in. It's like little things that just they'll be very quick to put in. So that plus, I think at the same time that we do that, we're also going to do an update on the graphics of the UI, so that will look a lot nicer too at the same time.
Nice.
So that'll be in progress for a
slider.
while. Huh?
I'd love a volume slider.
Yeah, well, sliders and buttons and everything like that. A lot of that stuff will show up. You won't have to open your inventory to change your title, things like that. So we'll be able to do a lot more in a lot less time.
Thank you.
And possibly invert mouse look, because I just saw that pop up in chat. What is this invert mouse look thing? I don't.
A couple of people have asked for it. Maybe
What?
one or two.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, and of course, controller remapping is going to be coming too. Key bindings.
They feel strongly about it. Some of them. All right, Shrek. Jeez. Okay. And then how is the Kickstarter looking? 730K.
Yeah.
Looking good. How much time do they have left? They have 71 minutes. 71 minutes. Okay, you guys can do it.
Getting there.
So if we look in game, we have Jester's massive fountain on Gaiamar.
Oh, go back to the game, Thomas. Adesso mi dispiace.
One of the other things we're going to be working on in the near term that'll be out soon is remember how when we posted the ProcGen creatures thing, we said that we needed to put some more love into makers. Well, we're putting more love into makers, so the makers will get a lot soon too.
What did he do to that fountain?
It's a water fixture.
There's a big lava pit at the bottom and a bunch of water that goes up and then back down into the fountain.
Wow. That's like water feature shenanigans. Okay. Wow, that's impressive. And whose is that? Who built it? Justier?
I believe so.
Is that Justier? Wow. Thank you, Justier. Very cool. At some point in the future, mind you, people will be able to take that design for that, package it off as a blueprint in some way, and trade it to others or sell it to others or gift it to others. I'm looking forward to that. And then we can take it back to our home. And if we've got the right materials in our inventory, we can assemble it. Dave, did I say that right?
Yeah, maybe without the geyser. The geyser's a sim thing. That's harder to package up.
Fun fact, Geyser is one of the few words in English that we actually uh, stole or borrowed from Icelandic. Uh, I lived
They
in
stole
Iceland for a while, and they pronounce it Geysir. But yeah, very cool.
We saw Geysir and we looked at it and went, "Oh, that's geyser. That's how we're going to say it, geyser."
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like
And
Chicago.
Raf's not on the live stream because of the coughing, but he is with us in spirit and actually in chat, which also counts. Thank you, Raf.
We prefer that Raph's lungs stay on the inside.
Jeez. No, we're not making a horror game, are we? Jeez. Okay. So, um, what's we ramped up our testing for Kickstarter. We broke it up into smaller chunks. We invited tons of people. We were sending out invitations almost every day. That was Nina, late at night, working her butt off. And then um, we gave them some more materials to start out with and more skills to help them get into testing faster so they could experience the game and get excited about it and help us in our Kickstarter. And it worked. What's going to change about our testing now with the completion of the campaign? Are we going to? My understanding is we're going to go to slightly longer, fewer tests and make people start out closer to the beginning. Am I saying that part right?
Um, we don't have the actual testing parameters really ironed out yet. The intention is to do fewer and longer tests, and honestly, only wiping when we need to. So we will, yeah, we'll probably start resetting things back so that not everything is available at the beginning because the intent is to wipe less. We will still have occasional wipes. Sometimes we just need to do that because of data. Like we'll
Yep.
change data structures or something like that, and there's no way for us to make
Yep.
that backwards compatible. And then at that point, we'll need to wipe. Or if, for instance, something tragic happens to the world, like with something unforeseen, like the gases escape and basically destroy the world, and we have to clean it up. Well, then that would be a wipe. But in general, we're going to do it as little as possible in preparation for when we eventually go 24/7, and there's
Yeah.
even fewer wipes.
Yeah. But the benefit we get from this change, guys, is the key dev team members don't have to spend so much time resetting the servers, turning them on and off, saving their statuses, and doing all kinds of stuff on the back end to manage them, and can focus more on ramping them up to get to 24/7, which is what we need to do next. So
Yeah.
thank you for letting us take a few shortcuts here to focus the team better on what we really need.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, it'll even be better for you guys because by running them less often, we'll be able to focus more on the improvements that we need to do, and you'll get builds that have improvements more often when you play, so that you won't be playing. You're stuck in like a fly in amber, waiting for the next features to go. Then when we do a play test, there'll be something interesting to do with it there.
Did you all see that flying sheep just now? Um, I do want them to see the hand sculpture, but the flying sheep needs a moment of homage, in my opinion. That was impressive.
The
Thank you.
hands
I
are
know
cool.
I know y'all are kind of jaded and used to things like flying sheep, but I'm not. And thank you. And then we can go back to the hand of Waboba. Very nicely done. I do like the sheep sounds in chat. Thank you.
By the way, Waboba, we've been extremely impressed at your builds. We share them in Slack all the time, and they're just so cool.
Yeah. Wow. What is the hand made out of?
Looks like bronze or brass.
Very impressive. Yes, very impressive. Oh, he's in chat. Yay! Well, Boba, well done, sir. Wall
The world
trim
will get
corner.
bigger when we can do it. I saw the question in chat. The worlds will get bigger when we're technically able to support it. Right now, we're still staying at 1K because we're doing optimizations.
Yeah.
Right. So I can speak to that a little bit. There is a bunch of moving parts that have to change at the same time to make the worlds bigger. It's not as simple as just going, hey, let's just, you know, increase the grid size. The sim has to perform at scale. We have to be able to send larger chunks of data down to the client and be able to mesh it on all your computers and also our servers. That means there's more physics. It means there's probably a lot more trees to network. There's a lot more creatures who can spread around that world. So it's like all around performance, right? It's not just one piece. There's a lot of rendering stuff that needs to be more performant because if you can see more, that means you're losing FPS. Yeah, so even in this update, some of the reason you're seeing these like CASM issues in this build is actually because there was a lot of under the hood changes to the threading model of the CSM to make it more performant. There are a couple of bugs in that have crept through, but once those are fixed, it should be a bit more performant. Probably like I think I heard it was 33% faster, which is significant, right? And that goes towards expanding the world size. So yeah, it's stuff like that that's been happening under the hood. But because we're also doing, live ops with these playtests, it does slow things down a little bit. Normally, you would have two teams or multiple teams working on this kind of thing, where it's half the team doing R&D and the other half doing live opsy stuff. But we're kind of spread between both, which
Yep.
is why we're trying to slow things down and focus more on some of these, important but not as beautiful improvements.
And honestly, that's some of the fun of being in a startup is you can wear multiple hats and every day is exciting. Love it. And it's indie life at the same time. Yeah. I do want to point out to you that if you miss the deadline here, which is
Soonish.
geez, it's like 61 minutes. If you miss the deadline here, what happens? You can do late pledges, it's called. If you get the campaign will have ended, it won't change our totals, but it's still helpful. And you can have access to pretty much the whole set of rewards, reward options, but at an automatically generated 10% higher price, something like that. This is a Kickstarter thing. This is not a Playable Worlds thing. Kickstarter will automatically shift the prices to something like 110% of what they currently are, and then still make them available to you as what's called late pledges. Anyway, so that only works, I think, for the items that are not limited quantity. The limited quantity ones, it will sell you what it's got up until the quantity runs out. And then it lists those as sold out and moves them to the bottom of the list. And you won't be able to buy those. If there are any questions, put them in stream chat and we'll do the best we can to either answer them or go poke someone behind the scenes to help answer them.
Here's a question about homing weapons, and someone asked, will we get a targeting option like tab target, or will it only be free aiming? So this is actually something we saw in Discord a couple times. It might not necessarily be specifically tab targeting, but one of the first cuts of our homing weapons internally was like you actually tag the mobs with your E or Q, and then your shots will always home to that mob whether or not you're aiming at it. So we actually already have that in code right now. It's just a matter of getting something designed into it that feels fun. And we're holding off on making, new combat weapons until we have some of those backend upgrades in place. So we have a lot of these pieces ready, and it's just like we really want to play Lego with them, but we gotta hold off until our Lego mat is ready.
To be clear, though, tab targeting is never going to be the main way of combat. It will be weapon specific. Like, for instance, we're definitely going to let you lock onto a target with the healing beam. So, I mean, there will be some things that are in there like that, but tab targeting is not the main way to play the game.
Okay, Layloop asked, is there a timeline for moving the backend Rust code to GPU? What a fun question. We're not ready for it, but what a fun question. We could pass.
Watch me not answer that question.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. When will guild functionality be added? Well, we'll tell you when we get to that point too. Believe me, that's a big deal for us. Personally, I ran a moderate size space empire in EVE Online for 9 years and closed it down to join this company so I could focus on this game. So trust me, the guild stuff's a big deal. We'll trumpet it for you when we're ready, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, so one of the main issues with that is it's a lot of UI work, and like we said earlier, we want to improve our UI systems, right? They're just not very fast to iterate on right now. So again, more back-end plumbing work that is then going to unlock a lot faster development with these kind of features.
But yeah, and yeah, Raf's jumping in here. Design principle has always been support people with good and with poor reflexes. Yeah, because the poor reflexes will be you someday. It will happen eventually. Even those of you who think you're a fruit vendor or something like that, trust me. What's another one here? Will farming make its debut soon?
No.
No. And fishing. What about fishing? Just kidding.
No.
That's from
I'm being monosyllabic here, but what I mean is we have some stuff that we definitely want to get in. Some of the glue needs to be in there for our game. We need to engage. I mean, our goal is to get more of the social and more of the economy stuff active and moving in the game before we wrap back around to the other stuff. Plus, honestly, as I've been public about in the past, we have to retool farming because what we were doing isn't as good as what you're already doing. So we need to redo some of the stuff that we were making assumptions about, and then we can roll out a new version of it.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, it's good stuff though.
Yeah,
grouping and secure trade and some real basics like that will go a long way toward making this game just way more exciting. I mean, the procedural creature stuff that we just rolled out was a blast, and I loved watching people do stuff. But man, do we need grouping? We need to be able to communicate more easily inside of a group. We need to be able to. There's a long list of we need. And we need to get through some of that stuff so that the game starts to interact with, so that players in the game start to interact with each other the way they're supposed to be able to.
Exactly. You're preaching to the choir, Dave.
I know.
Can we get hoverbots that mimic the effect of ice, allowing us to ski? Huh. At this rate, you guys are going to invent it before we could do it. So, did you guys see the ice skating rink? That the functional ice skating rink from this week? That was smooth. Well, I didn't mean to make a pun, but that was very cool.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah.
I think somebody was talking about it, but you need to set up stations across the world so you can just weebop your way across the world.
Yeah. Very cool. Imagine visiting a planet and they have these things set up in a circle where you could just keep going around as much as you want.
It would be fun.
Pay 25 credits and enjoy their.
Just zip down the ramp and then come up here and hit a loop that's in midair. Whip around it.
Yeah. Any
When
any
lightsabers.
ball when lightsabers. You did not you added that. I didn't see it in there. Oh
It's
yeah, I
in
see
there
it. Yeah.
by info
Yeah.
guides.
Yay,
It's
info
a very
guide.
important question. Dave, when lightsabers?
No lightsabers. We do not wish to be sued. But other things, yeah, melee's on the way.
I heard there might be melee at some point.
I think that might happen. We have to find somebody who's really interested in implementing it. But other than that,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
When
Someone
legally
really
distinct
cool.
plasma sabers?
Yeah. Okay.
I think the one that's on the drawing board is the laser whip, right? But yeah.
And Dark Waves is asking about um, more skill trees.
Oh, yeah, skill trees need to make their way back in too. There's a bunch of stuff that we want to do. When I was talking about that glue stuff earlier, getting people to go together. So there's I don't know, holy trinity, whatever you want to call it. There's basically like secure trade groups and the artisan skill tree. So right now the recipes and everything are spread out amongst all the skill trees, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. Because the people that craft are the ones that want to craft. The people that don't want to craft, they shouldn't have to. So that stuff is supposed to be come out. It'll be part of the artisan skill tree. And then when crafters start crafting, and we have secure trade, and we have groups and all that other stuff, a lot of the other stuff starts to activate. So that people that are doing combat a lot are going to the crafters and saying, "Hey, I need a really cool weapon." And the crafters are saying, "You want a really cool weapon? You better go get me those resources that you can only get from the creatures." That kind of stuff. And so that interaction between the different types of players will become more and more to the fore. So yes, skill trees. That's probably one of the early ones that we're going to want to do, so that we can get that going, and then we'll just start putting in more and more and more of them. Long answer, but that's the answer.
All right.
It's so weird when I like say stuff and there's just silence. I have to watch chat.
Well, it's not like a meeting at work where they all start to chime in with their opinions.
I know.
But what about this? And what about this? Yes. Trust me, they're all saying it at home to their screens. You
I'm
just
sure.
can't hear them.
There's a mega rock inbound.
Don't.
Uh-oh. Don't stand under it.
I really don't know if that public event is going to survive or not. One of the coolest things I've ever seen in this game was a few tests ago when the Mega Rock first went in, and a guy had his claim, he had his homestead set up right on the edge of a cliff, and the Mega Rock came down and just plowed right through the edge of the cliff that his claim was on, and it went straight through that all the way down and made a crater below, and it was amazing. And luckily, he didn't have much built yet, so he was like, "That's the coolest thing ever," and it was really neat. But that would not be cool if you had a lot of stuff built there. So I don't know whether
That's
the
it,
Mega Rock
Thomas.
around or not.
Yeah. Thanks, Thomas. You saved us just now.
What happened?
Did you see the look on my face when that thing crashed through?
Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah.
We're in pre-alpha.
What happened?
Thomas is like, you see nothing. And he did his Jedi mind trick on us. Not that we have Jedi or anything, or mind tricks.
You're saying there was a bug? That's weird.
No. I don't know what it was. It was a visual thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Good
just to be
point.
clear, Carneros he's not being coy, he's being literal. We don't have Jedi. People keep asking, are you going to have Star Wars Galaxy style Jedi?
No.
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 You can see
No.
Raph's postmortems.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Postmortems. That's a good plug there. That's the name of a book that Raph wrote. And yeah, we don't want Star Troopers either. Jeez. These crazy people. Okay, Knox asked for dev clarification on the building system upgrade. Okay, instead of creating sets of building tiles, Dave,
Yeah.
uh, high-tech, rough-hewn lumber, industrial, blah, blah, blah. We're going to change things up. Does this mean that the prefab piece sets, like the building set currently in the test, will be discontinued? No, it
Maybe.
means we're adding. Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. When we set up that stretch goal, it was like we have the opportunity now to do something that's better than what we're doing. So when we do that, we may decide we don't need that other stuff anymore, and we don't want to continue to support it. But we might support it. It depends entirely upon what the end results are. The stuff that was outlined in that doc, we don't need them. And in fact, I don't think anybody would need them once that other stuff is in there because the other stuff is more flexible. And I know right now people have figured out how to do some really cool stuff with it. But if we're doing our job properly, you'll be able to do really cool stuff in a similar way with the other stuff. So,
But
yeah,
better and more.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to set colors and textures and stuff on the primitives that we give you will be epic. I mean, that will be really cool. You'll be able to do so much. And right now, you're limited to whatever the artist dreamed up on that piece. That's what you have. And we're going to give you a lot more power than that.
Thank you.
There's that silence again.
Jehu81 asks, how are you going to handle things like loot drops in dungeons when it says on the website that there are no loot drops? He's drinking, so I will tell you. We're not dropping finished items for you as loot. There's no helmet of +2 glowiness or something. That's not
Right.
going to happen. This is not D&D. What we're giving you instead is materials. We drop raw mats instead. Meat or skin or bones or glowy bits or of something else, or anti-gravium. But you will have to go to a crafter to get your cool stuff made, or craft yourself.
Very rarely. Yeah, no, that's great. Very rarely you may discover things like new tech, buried in an ancient civilization ruin or something like that. And that would be in the form of recipes that were unknown up until that point. Very rarely there may be a really cool widget that you can use to be able to build other things, but we don't have any intention of giving you end products, except possibly on a very rare basis for special events or something. But in general, everything you use in this game comes from players.
And if you do find something like that, do not show it to the servitors. Stick it in your bag, keep your mouth shut, hide it.
That is actually true. The servitors try to wipe out those other civilizations. The fact that there's remnants will not make them happy.
Okay. That's probably going to cause more questions from Jehu81, but we'll keep going. Info Guides asks what our plans are for bounty hunter type stuff. Like we actually just, yeah.
It's a little bit in the future.
Needs to be designed a bit more. Also, someone go and res our poor demonstration guide there.
Bounty Hunter smacks of PvP, and PvP is not currently our focus. I think everybody that knows who I am and what my background is knows that I love PvP, and I can't wait for the day that we get to it, but that's not now. So I think Bounty Hunter is one of those things that we're going to reveal at a later date. But we are going to do it.
All right. Oh, someone saw something. There's a pop in one I've seen sometimes after Landmark that blew my mind. I'll drop a link in suggestions. Okay, cool. I know it works for some, but okay. Minecraft. Wow, there's a lot in chat today, you guys. Controlled Chaos. Hey, good morning. Will we be able to see the planets when in space? Or if so, have orbital movement like in real life? Oh, geez. We haven't got to that part yet.
We do want it. We have a design that would enable it. We have to wait and find out what our economics are. Basically, we haven't optimized our servers yet, so we don't know exactly what the cost is for running servers. And once we know how expensive or inexpensive it is to run servers, we can make decisions about how many servers we can have running. If we have a lot of servers and they're cheap, then we might be able to do things like have orbital zones and things like that. But until then, we can't really commit to it.
Okay, Mr. Goshdarn asked if we mention when the new races will be tested. That requires more Dynamo integration, right?
Yeah. We are
There's a
doing some
text
Dynamo
thing.
work right now. Yeah. We're doing some Dynamo work right now. I don't know whether we've talked about what we're doing, but I will leak this.
Go ahead.
We're doing some experimentation with the characters. In the process of doing that, we're going to update the game with a couple of more characters per gender per species. So instead of 2 per gender per species right now, it'll be 4, which isn't a big deal. You still won't be able to choose them manually. They'll be random when you zone and things like that. But there will be more options. And in the process of those characters come out, the new stuff that we're doing to those characters will show up. The new species will be sometime after that, and I'm not sure what the ETA is yet.
Thank you very much. That's helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Will there be any kind of this is a kind of an easy one, Dave. Will there be any kind of weapon attachments or armor attachments or socketed items that we could put something into?
Oh God, that's not an easy one.
It's a great question now.
It is a great question.
It has layers to it that we can't even express right now.
Yeah,
good.
I will say the things that we can commit to.
Okay.
When you craft an artisan crafted item, you will get the opportunity to customize it. And customization will absolutely include color and texture and the description of the item and a name for the item. And it may include other elements which I can't commit to yet.
Well, we're trying.
Yeah.
Thank you, info guides. Thank you, info guides, for that.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. Okay. Are there plans for stuff like procedural missions? Well, players can make that, or manual missions, though.
Yeah, I just did a big write-up yesterday about player missions, but player missions is not procedural missions. Procedural missions are interesting and really cool, and we will have to talk about it later. But the ideas behind procedural missions are like you're wandering around and you're in the world, and all of a sudden you see like a crashed starship, right? And so you're like, oh, a crashed starship, and you go over there, and it's not like a crashed starship that other people saw. It's something different, and you go into it, and maybe you find things, and that links you to a mission that's maybe on another world, and you go there to do a certain thing, and then that leads you to another place, and et cetera, et cetera. But we have a lot of work to do still before we get there. Player missions will be much sooner than that.
Okay. Going back to something you said earlier about rare drops, Ryun Jet asked, is this recipe that you mentioned, a recipe, that was your word, going to be unique to the character that gets it? Or is it something that will unlock a new blueprint galaxy-wide?
Right. That's to be determined.
Okay. Or maybe even happen in both cases on occasion, but we shall see.
I think an organic growth, organic spread of it would be interesting, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, Boba asks, if the building system is only primitive shapes and scaling and stretching them out, it will be very daunting for people just trying out the building system. I guess that's a comment. Okay. Well, let's see here. Can't wait for factions from Jehu81. You and me both. You and me both. That will be fun.
It will be fun. That will definitely be post-launch.
Let's not leak anything on that one yet, though, because that's great ammunition for marketing for later.
That's definitely
That's
what's
gonna-
fun.
yeah.
Dave, what is this monstrosity on screen?
That is that's the largest size of the gas hog.
Granddaddy Zeth Hog. My first time seeing one of those.
There's a
Don't
lot.
pet it. Do not go up and pet it.
Avi,
I'll do
there's
that
120
if I.
creatures now. There was 20 when you left.
I know. So I
And
was
all
on
he
break for a
did was,
couple weeks.
yeah,
Yeah, and I came back, and suddenly Dave's just been going nuts, making all these creatures with light, and now I have a whole bunch of new things to kill.
yeah. Do the packages in the Stars Reach count to the stretch goals? The ones in the store. Sneaky Rat, that would be a no. But it's still wonderful and we don't care. That's all right.
can't.
Oh, can I circle back to the rare? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Circle back, whatever.
Okay, I just wanted to circle back to the rare material thing. When we had that mega rock that came in and crashed into our world,
And didn't it ever?
it
Yeah,
yeah, it did deposit a bunch of materials like diamond and stuff, which might be, good for rare item crafting. But because we're in a world with sand, that diamond is denser than sand and it's sunk. So while you guys were talking, we were actually trying to dig it up. And this is kind of a cool thing for gathering materials and no other MMO. You'll only see this in Stars Reach, but you might want to do excavation runs where you're trying to dig up literal buried treasure. I
Yep.
don't know. I thought
yeah.
that was pretty cool.
No,
This is
absolutely.
one of those games where one of those rare games where meteorites falling out of the sky causes all the crafters to come running. Yeah. Only in Stars Reach. Okay. I'm
Creature
looking for more
taming is
questions.
still being worked on.
Sono Darksmith is saying, will you just leak everything already?
Nope.
Sono, you should come and try working in marketing for a week. See what it's like.
There's
Dazzle.
two. Let me answer that one. Like for real. Like leaks
Okay.
are fun, right? It's always fun to show a preview of what's going to be in the game later on and everything like that. But the problem with leaks is they paint us into corners. So
Yeah.
like when we're designing, if we don't tell you everything about what's going to be in the game, then as we go along, we might find something that's actually more fun or is a better way to do something. And then we can
Yeah.
veer and go that direction as long as it's meeting the overall objectives for the game, which is fun and stability. So if we can do both of those things, then great. We want to be able to have the flexibility to do it. If we tell you too much about what is absolutely going to be in the game, then all we do is set ourselves up for your disappointment because you were planning on that thing being in the game. And then we decided that we couldn't get to it or it wasn't feasible or whatever it is. So that's why we don't leak sometimes. And we usually only tell you about the stuff that's near term. Although
There's
we're
one
going
other problem.
to eventually.
There is one other problem, and that is this game is so complex, has so many details that you couldn't absorb it all at once anyway. So giving it out in pieces allows you to absorb the material and incorporate it into your mental model for the game and as we go. And it also means that the people who've been paying attention for a year don't have so much of a head start on the people who've been paying attention to it for a month. Uh, we're going to all be learning new pieces as we go here along the way. Skill Cichlid is asking roughly how many planets do you expect there to be at launch? Will the majority be player planets? And okay, let's unravel that.
Yeah, right. Unpacking that, the answer that is glib, but is actually the truth is we will have as many planets as we need to support the player population. So what we'll be doing on our side of the fence is figuring out like what's the average player population on the planet when it's running, that sort of thing. And then we'll be like, okay, if we have X amount of players, then that means we need Y amount of servers, and we'll do that sort of thing. But then worlds stay up based upon activity. So if a world isn't used and I'm making numbers up here, so don't hold me to it. Let's say that a world stays unused for a month or a week or whatever it is. It's not a week. Then the worm gate might disappear and that world becomes unavailable. But there are going to be ways for you to be able to reactivate the worm gates and get back to a world. So the number of worlds that's in the galaxy at any given time will fluctuate a lot depending on how many players there are and just how many players there are. That's the real answer there.
Also, I want to circle back to a different thing that I answered wrong. I did not realize this. Someone asked in chat if the packages we sell on the Stars Reach store count towards the Kickstarter totals. And apparently, yes, it does count toward the stretch goals. Nina poked me and clarified this. And we will tally them up at the end, and in some way they count.
Yes.
I don't know if it's manually or automatically or what, but they will count. So thank you. Please don't feel guilty about purchasing from either side. They're both good, and thank you. Yes, and Raf also posted the update from Ninja Nina. So yes, thank you very much. Also, we are going to be required to close the stream soon. My boss has threatened bodily harm if we talk all the way up till the end of the campaign, because we have to allow people to have time to stop and think about purchasing and kibitz with their significant other and stuff like that. And if they just sit and listen to the three of us chat and watch gameplay on screen, we're going to get in big trouble.
I'm going to go make makers anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah. Don't think, just pay. Think, people, think. Yeah, everyone be reasonable on this. But thank you we do appreciate it. What's our total at now? Because we've got another goal at $750,000, and we're at $736,753. Okay.
I think we can
Another
make
23,000, and we're going to have to put out another stretch goal here.
I think we're getting
Good, guys. Quick question. Any word on regional server timeline?
No.
We don't have a timeline for it. We've explained a little bit on how that can work, but we're not ready to. We have to get to 24/7 before we can do that.
Yeah.
With the SR store, we'll easily hit 7. Okay, Ryunjet had a good point there, and that's probably Ninja Nina's point also. So yeah. Retirement advisor has prohibited me from changing my pledge. Yes. Okay, nice. Yeah, you guys we have to eventually, retire, and we'll still have to eat food and things. So be reasonable and prudent. But thank you. This is exciting. Not in the questions, but I can imagine it in my mind. Will there be champagne to open this afternoon? And the answer is yes. Yes, there will be. But we're not allowed to do celebrations and shenanigans until afterwards.
Yeah, they're all those little teeny airplane bottles, though. So
yeah, those are still fun. Those have been around a long time. I mean, since before I was born. Yeah.
Cool. Well,
but again, thank you so much for helping us bring this game to market. You guys all mattered. Thank you. You guys made this work.
honestly, Yeah. It made a gigantic difference. This whole effort has made just enormous amounts of difference in our game and our future.
Yes.
So thank you.
You're also just a bright spot in a dark industry right now.
Yep.
Because things are not particularly going well for the games industry. And a lot of games are not getting funded right now. A lot of projects are running out of money. And I don't want to be a downer, but you guys have bucked the whole trend and shined a light on possibility. Thank you.
Yep. It's not an overstatement to say you have changed our future.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about before we ask Thomas to take us to the close? All right. Thank you very much. This is exciting. Today doesn't feel like a normal day.
Good day.
It feels like a great day. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Keep your eye on the Stars Reach Kickstarter. Keep your eye on it. Poke your friends in Discords. Ask them to come check it out. Last chance. They'll be down to just late pledges in another 28 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Remember, you can always
Have a
ask
great
questions in
day.
Discord.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we can go back to work. Okay, let's do. All right.